All right, 3 trees are down. That should be enough to keep me busy for a while. Obviously, we have to start with the trees first. And we do have some high ones on here. That particular one is a hemlock. This one right here will come down sooner or later, and it is a cherry. Even though I classify this first tree as the easy one to go down, it was leaning in the right direction. We're still going to go over the proper technique. The actual person cutting is my son. He had a couple years experience on a tree company, so he's pretty good at cutting down trees, a lot better than I am, so he is doing the actual cutting. As you see, the first thing he does is making sure his wedge is nice and clean on the inside. You'll see him cut out the wedge. Then he'll check the wedge to make sure it's all cleaned out and that it's even on both sides. He looked right there just to make sure that the wedge was pointing in the direction he wanted it to. And now he's just trimming up the edges to make sure it's clean, a clean 45 or whatever angle it may be all the way through. Then he'll start wrapping the chain around and it's level on the cut. So he wants the next cut to be right on the back side of it, directly behind it. You don't want it at an angle. He's going to put it in straight. So now that he got the angle straight here, he's going to follow it the rest of the way around so it's even all the way around. Then he'll start cutting into it. Now he'll cut in just far enough to get a wedge in there, and that way he can control it. Even if it wants to go the other direction, he still has a little control over the cut. So now he's got it in almost far enough to put in the wedge. It must be pretty close. And here goes the wedge. As you see, he's not tapping it in. He's getting a good solid bite in there, but it's not like he's over hammering it with this leg because this one is leaning in the right direction. Now he's going to cut it in a little bit further and then wedge a little bit more. And I start to see the tree moving. I let him know, so then he's got the wedge good and tight. And now he's just going to cut it the rest of the way so it starts to fall. There it goes. Straighter than I thought. Okay, now he's cutting tree number 2, which is also a hemlock. I don't know whether I said it before, but the first one was a hemlock also. And it's this tree is leaning the wrong way, so it is a little bit iffy. We certainly don't want it to fall towards the sawmill. We want it to fall away the other direction. You can see the lean in it in the picture, but he's going to go about it the same way where you cut out the wedge, you follow it around, and then you start with the wedges. I'm going to speed this one up a little bit. It's a heavy tree. It's moving some, moving the right way. Now this is the tree that took some time. That is no small hammer he's using. He's using a small sledge to beat it. He probably should have got more of an axe or maybe something a little bit heavier. As you can hear, he's hitting it pretty hard trying to drive it. His first, what he needs to do first, he says, is to get it straight up and down because it's leaning the wrong way. Once he gets it straight up and down, he may cut a little bit more. Now you do hear him say that this was a heavy tree, and that means there's a lot of weight on the side where the wedges are. And you can certainly hear the difference when he's pounding on these wedges versus when he's hitting the other wedges on the 2 other trees that he's cutting down, especially the third one. So when you get to the third one, listen to it, and you can hear the difference on the sound and the weight that's the tree is putting on that wedge. Now take a peek behind my son there and you'll see a worried mother. Mothers always seem to worry. These cutting down trees can be a bit dangerous, so always, if you're cutting or felling a tree, be careful.
Usually if you hit it a while, hear it cracking, give it a couple minutes, it'll be easier the next time.
Yeah, it's going that way. It's just you got a lot of weight right down on that side right now, huh?
Yeah. You just can't rush. You gotta hit it and let it react a little bit.
Make sure you get out from behind it.
No, I didn't speed up a lot of this tree because it was so much harder, and I wanted to give you an idea on how long it actually took to get it down.
It ain't moving there.
Now he's cutting into the hinge a little bit more. He has to be careful because he doesn't want to go the whole way through. If he goes the whole way through, the tree might fall in the wrong direction. By just cutting a little bit more of the hinge there, he's trying to make it a little bit easier so he can pound the wedges, so he can finally get that tree to be straight up and down.
Moving now. Moved about 8 inches at the top. Still moving. He's still moving a little bit too.
It's about straight. Cut a little bit more and should be able to beat it over then.
There she goes.
Right where I want.
Now this third tree is the cherry tree. He had to make the notch a little bit bigger. I don't know whether he did that on purpose to make it roll a little bit or not. But this tree is already leaning in the right direction. But it is a cherry. It doesn't look quite so good, but it still looks kind of healthy. As you see the backside, it looks like it might be going bad. The interesting thing about this tree is the stuff you'll see around it once it falls.
There it goes.
My little helper here thought nobody was watching, so he snuck down the camera and did a little bit of a happy dance. But he also put a plug in for his papa. So I did decide to leave this in the video for your entertainment and mine. And he did plug the video here.
Like and subscribe. Subscribe.
Now this cherry tree here, the cherry was the last tree we cut down. You see I sectioned it off in 8-foot sections. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 8-foot sections until it turns really curvy and stuff. I'll split that up. The rest will be firewood, and that's what I'm going to get ready to cut up now. But I want to cut that up because that's down there against the trail. And that's where I actually bring all my equipment up. So later on, what I'll do is I'll have to at some point get the tractor out. I'll take these cherry logs, put them away, and then I can start working on some hemlock.
I had many hands helping in the cleanup and a couple of saws running. It made it a lot easier. And we got this roadway cleared up pretty quickly. Well, these cherry logs, they seem to have holes that go the whole way around them. Looks like a woodpecker was trying to look for bugs. Now, I don't see any signs of the bugs, but I see where the sap is coming out all these holes, as maybe that's where bugs were laying. I'm not sure. Somebody online can tell me. Leave in the comments so I know exactly what's happening here. I guess I'll find out more when I start cutting them up as wood. Let me give you a close-up. This is what I was talking about. You see the holes are almost all the way around, just like a woodpecker kind of went around the whole thing there, and there's all the sap coming out of it. But it's the whole way up and down this tree, and I don't see anything rotten on the outside. I haven't seen anywhere the holes went the whole way through, but we'll find out a lot when we start cutting it up into boards here. See there? And they're kind of a circle, almost like it just went right around the circle looking for bugs. Now the cherry tree has been cleaned up and the limbs taken off, and it is the easiest to get to, so it's the one I'm going to stack first. Now those clamp-on forks are okay. They don't always work that great. They have a tendency to loosen up, and as you see, I'll lose one. It actually falls off. They want to bend. They move around. So they're not the best ones, but this isn't one of those quick detach buckets, so this is what I'm going to have to live with for now. Now this log, I had to nudge it one way, so I get to it, and then I'm getting ready to put it on, and it just didn't want to go on. I couldn't get the forks underneath it because of the uneven ground there. So I had to go get the peavey. They always work well. Now the position of this log requires me to use the peavey once again. As you see, I cannot get underneath it. I'm going to spin it off those two logs and hopefully onto the forks, the clamp-on forks. I do get it on there, but it's not slid up far enough, so it's an uneven lift, so I had to reposition the tractor to get it to lift up and get in the proper position so I can take it over and dump it. Now this is my last 8-foot cherry log. I had to move some stuff out of the way, but I am going to leave these stacked. I probably won't cut them for a little while. I need some lumber for inside, so I'll be cutting up or sawmilling the hemlock soon. So now I get to move some hemlocks and get them ready for me. Now I'm just going to cut up a couple of these hemlocks and start sizing them up and, you know, trimming off the branches and all that good stuff you've seen earlier in the cherry. These are the first ones I'm going to be sawmill, so the next video you'll see me get them over the sawmill and actually start to mill them, make them usable lumber. But as always, the first step is to, you got to bring down the trees, unless they've already fallen, and cut them up, trim them up, get the branches and everything off of them, and then cut them into lengths usable size, and then move them how you need to move them. So all this is a big part of the process of using your sawmill, even if it is just for a hobby type thing, or just for remodeling, or just a temporary thing, just to get some lumber cheap and make it feel like it's more your own when you remodel, when you actually cut the lumber yourself. But I want to thank you for viewing, and I want to hope you get to please watch the next video too. And once again, it's the old man with the plan, and I'll see you later.